What's good, fam? Welcome to another Relationship Realities on a Monday. How was everybody's weekend?
Man, that intro is always about for me.
Ah, I love it. Props to Fresh Out. They assisted me with that. Hats off to them. Shout out to them. They are live every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern. I'm sorry, 8:30 Central. You got to check them out. Dope. Love them. Love them. Love them. How are you, Free?
Oh man, oh, doing okay.
Yeah.
Uh, just got back in the country. I went from sun and sand to snow. so, yeah, that's quite a difference. But man, I was just over in man. I'll tell you what's interesting. So last month I was in Dubai by default because I was going to Pakistan. But when I
Okay.
got to Dubai, I got notice that my visa to go to Pakistan was denied.
Oh,
So I was trying to wait around a couple of days to get my visa back. I submitted my paperwork again, everything. Nothing happened. So I was like, you know what? Let me get my butt back home, go back to work, make some money. I land back in Chicago. I get an email, visa approved. So I'm like, okay. So my lady and I went to Dubai for a friend's 40th birthday celebration. And I
nice.
said, you know what? Since I'm this close and I have the approved visa,
Yeah.
I'm going to go all the way to Pakistan. So we landed in Dubai Sunday. I took off Monday morning to Pakistan.
Yeah.
And man, it was an experience. If I tell you, it's like Call of Duty. I mean, it looked like the video games they see they're going through. The villages and look. It was
Yeah.
really like that. Very, very humbling experience. But
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy though, right? Third world. I mean, the
Yeah.
looks of it, yeah, but I guarantee they are eating better food than we are.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just it was like wow, this is amazing. Like even the poorest places know the value of good whole nutritionless food.
Yeah.
And I mean, like wow. I mean the taste, the flavors, just I'm like, wow, we've got all this money, but we eating all this fake stuff.
Because we're greedy and we're trying to find the quickest,
No.
cheapest way.
Yeah,
And that includes lots of preservatives.
yeah.
Keep that shelf life up. Nothing's really truly fresh anymore. I'm glad you had a good time.
Oh man, absolutely. Absolutely. I had a great time. I went to a show. Went
Good.
to what is it? La Perla.
Okay.
Very, very nice show. I mean, the theatrics, the technology that they used,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
I'm glad you had fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How about you? How was your week?
It was good. It was good. Relaxing. It was good.
Okay.
It was good. Speaking of fun, it looks like your boy Elon is having a lot of fun in more ways than one. Uh, I just happened to see this article in the New York Times, and let me share my screen real quick because I was it was interesting. Elon here is on his 13th child. And this is coming from allegedly, because I don't believe Elon has said straight up this is his child. from a young lady that I guess he's been courting for a while, and she's in politics, and the child, I believe, is like 4 months old right now. And so it led me to ask the question, is Elon leaving a lasting legacy? Because let's face it, Nick Cannon and Future have a lot of children. Elon sounds like he's playing catch up with them. And the narrative spun for Elon is he's leaving a lasting legacy. Yet Nick Cannon and Future, they just have a lot of baby mamas.
Mhm.
What was your initial reaction when you heard that Elon is on his 13th child?
Didn't surprise me. I mean, it's the world's richest man. Like,
Hmm.
what do you want from him? I know what he wants, whatever he wants. So, I mean, like you said, he had been courting her for quite a while, and guess what? He got her. So, I mean, the world. What do you get the person that has everything or that can get whatever they want? You let them choose. So, is he leaving a lasting legacy? It's the comparison isn't right because it's the sheer amount of money. Like one we're talking rich, one we're talking wealthy. So I mean, I think Elon has left a legacy because of who he is and the advances that he has brought forth, the personality that he has on that scale. We haven't had anybody as eclectic, as I'll put it that way, as him on that big of a stage. Like, what is he? He's the Doge guy or whatnot. When was the last time you heard anybody other than the president or the vice president speaking? Like, he's not even either. He's not in a cabinet or anything. He's just like he's the Doge guy. So, I mean, and then you know what's a seamless thing that people haven't thought about? That's his friend. Because what was the last thing that Trump went out of office that he created?
Hmm.
What is it? What did I forget? It has a crazy name, but the Space Coalition or whatever the new space thing is.
Oh.
And look who his main man is now. So, I mean, is he leaving a legacy? Yeah, just by who he is. Now, his children, is that going to be a legacy type deal? I mean, if they come out and they do something great too. But I mean, I don't think he'll be known for how many children he has because the impact that he has had has been greater than the story of him having that many kids. I mean, Nick Cannon and Future having that many kids is news because it's like still how you gonna take care of all them kids? You know, y'all got that money, but you know that tax rate is different and blah blah blah. But it's news because we can relate. We can't relate to the world's richest man. He can do what he wants to do.
But what effect does that have on those children?
Now I agree. I agree with you there. You know what? What I was thinking about? I was thinking if wasn't it Dr. Bryant? If she would say to Elon what she said to Cam Newton. I wonder if she would say that to Elon.
That's a very valid point.
So, and then the other thing is also look at his background. I mean, he's from Africa. He has a different mindset. He has a different thought process about legacy. He has a different thought process about marriage, and he has a different thought process about education, which I actually like his thought process on education. But I mean, he's just a different guy. So I mean, do you gotta like him? No, but you can't knock his hustle. You can't knock his knowledge. It's getting really ugly in there with the stuff he's finding. So it'll be real interesting here in a little bit.
Agree. I just hope he gets the same scrutiny as my black brothers out here that are getting scrutinized. I definitely, like I said, the last time we discussed Nick and all the children that he's, populating the earth with, I feel the same way about Elon. Like,
Mm-hmm.
despite how much money you have,
Mm-hmm.
these children are definitely affected by this, whether you have the money or not, because he's at least counting. I think he has at least two of them that are under the age of one. So they might be graduating around the same time. You gonna be able to make both graduations? Are you gonna be able to spend the same amount of quality time? Are you spending quality time with them? Yes,
But
you're providing them with your genes, but what good are those genes if they didn't come get brought up in what would be the optimal living conditions of a two-parent household?
true, true. And I mean, I bet he has the means to have everybody get under one roof. I wonder if he would do that.
Would the ladies be willing to be under one roof?
I'm
Because
sure.
it's hard to,
You don't think that he would
ladies,
have
y'all know you
a
cannot
maid
have
producer
two
film or
cooks in
something
one
crazy?
kitchen. It
You
just
don't
don't
think he would have a
work.
maid or something for each one of them, or something wild, something ridiculous? At least he's got enough money to do whatever he wants to do.
He certainly does. But I mean, even his one of the older children, I don't remember how old or which one it was, but even one of the older children got on social media and indicated, hey, I just found out I had a half sibling on Reddit. If I had a nickel for every time that I found out I had a half sibling, she was like, I'd be rich.
Earlier than she is.
I mean, well, facts. But I just,
He
ladies,
won't get the same
that
screw.
is not the life that you do not want to live that life, regardless
Well,
of how much money that he can throw at you and your children emotionally. You
you
don't want
know,
to share no man.
hey, I had a friend of mine say a long time ago. He says, if they want to, it's real easy to be a woman. All you gotta do is be pretty. And I mean, look 13 women. He said he had been courting her for a long time. Like he just was focused. He wanted her. Like all what's special about her? Nothing.
Maybe he was attracted to her brain. I don't know. Yeah.
Not the smartest guy in the world. Definitely not.
Now we didn't get a chance to talk last week. You were on your trip enjoying yourself, and we didn't get a chance to talk about the halftime Super Bowl performance, which has been everywhere. Everyone has something to say about the performance. Everybody is still talking about it, not only in the office, but at home. What were your first thoughts, initial thoughts when you saw the halftime show?
Um, Energy that I understood. um, I love that it was very bold, but it was very subtle.
Mm.
Um, outside of your uncle, Sam. I like the way he integrated that. I like the role that Sam just plays that role well. I mean, he took me back to the Django character he played when I saw him with that hat on. So, but the way that he was able to tell the story of him needing to tone his music down. Him, oh, you acting real black now. You know they don't like that. And then say, oh, nah, that's how they like us. Nice and soft and easy, like the R&B. And then he does this. And oh, you done lost your mind. So I think that took the pulse of America's view of what they were seeing probably in real time too. Mm-hmm. It was a very indirectly in your face, I guess. And I'm more
was it really indirectly?
I'm a bold one. I'm like I said, I'm giving him credit because he did it.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Maybe it's some more pieces that were more bold in exchange for the diss piece.
I agree.
Now, what I will say with that, there will never be a more epic ending to a rap beef ever. He looks in the camera and says, "Come here, come with me. Game over." Right? There's nothing else ever in the history of rap beefs that can be decided better than that.
Yeah. I'm the Kendrick lovers are probably gonna hate me for this. I was not overly impressed with the performance yet. The artistry, phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I was blown away. I just loved it. It was clever, witty, humorous.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Okay.
I will be very honest. I did not expect that just because of cancel culture, because of the new government that's in place. I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, I can see that.
And you share with me this one video that I thought, because there is a lot of those who don't look like us, had a lot of comments to say about the performance. And you shared with me this video that I thought was a very unique take. And I quite honestly did not look at it at that angle. Y'all, let's check this out.
Are upset that Kendrick Lamar's halftime show did not include any white dancers. They're calling it exclusionary and racist. But hold the fuck up! Aren't these the very same people claiming that DEI isn't fair? Who believe in meritocracy and that companies should just hire the best person for the job? And that diversity efforts are just forced inclusion? So white people, let us get this straight together. We are saying that when historically white spaces stay white, that's just the way things are. But when a black artist celebrates black dancers in a performance celebrating black culture, suddenly we're upset by this? Kendrick's performance was not about exclusion, it was about authenticity. And black artists do not exist to make you comfortable and to keep us in our fragile little bubbles. And maybe remember the quote that if art doesn't make you question something, then it's just an advertisement. I hope this helps.
Very interesting take.
Love it. Love it.
There's a lot to unpack there. I wonder how they responded to his video.
I have to go back and find that video and see. But
So was Kendrick's performance more than just entertainment?
definitely sending a message. Yeah, for sure. Not only was it, like I said, it was sending a message and it was ending a rap beef all at the same time, while force feeding it to you at that, because this is the Super Bowl. Everybody's watching and it's halftime. Everybody waits to see what halftime is, even if they don't like who the artist is. They still know that it's going to be a spectacle, so they tune in. And I mean, he had the world for a minute. So I mean, I'll say this: I'm glad he did something versus just get up there and rap. I don't know that many artists out today in the genre would have been able to do something like that. That would have been this impactful, even if it's just having conversation about it. So, yeah. I mean, we've had conversations about halftime shows because Janet Jackson's boob fell out, or Prince, it was raining on him. Michael Jackson was doing magic back in the day, popping up on the top of different monitors, but nothing that was a message. And so I think that was very, very powerful for not only for the Super Bowl, but for him as an artist and the culture and the genre. So I think it was more than just entertainment.
So you mentioned multiple previous Super Bowl halftime shows. Do you believe this was, from an artistry standpoint, was one of the better Super Bowl halftimes in comparison to some of the others? Like Rihanna, I don't know how much artistry went into hers.
Yeah. Now, I mean,
Usher.
I'm ashamed to say this almost now, but I've seen a lot of Super Bowls. But there's definitely been some very artistic ones. Like I said, the Prince one, that was very artistic.
Yeah.
I think Beyonce, she was pretty artistic in hers. Of course, Michael Jackson is always going to do something special. Whitney. I mean, there have been some spectacular halftime shows, but nothing that was spectacular and sent a message. I think he did that. Like what you saw with the artistry, that was enough to get everybody that wasn't real hip hop into what was going on. If you were real hip hop, you understood the beef, you understood the chains that he had on, you understood, everything that he was talking about. But then if you were just a casual rap fan, that the song won 5 Grammys. When was the last time we had somebody that had just won 5 Grammys perform at the Super Bowl? It hadn't happened. So, I mean, you have to not only give a nod to Kendrick, you got to give a nod to Jay for setting it up. So, I mean, that's DEI at its finest.
Considering all the controversy of the halftime show, should he have created a show that was all inclusive?
He did, because we all have to share that experience. We have been experiencing that on our own forever. Everybody experienced it when it was on TV with George Floyd. So he just gave it to you again in a different way. So that was, it included everyone. What what we've been telling you we've been going through. You saw what we've been going through. And you know what? I'm out here. I have the platform for a moment, and this is what I'm going to choose to remind you of. So I think it was all inclusive. There have been Super Bowls where there were only country artists that none of the black players that were dominating the field could identify. So, everything goes around. What goes around comes around.
I loved it for it. I don't believe it was all inclusive. Because I really don't truly believe in all inclusivity. It's not possible. Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did appreciate is the fact that these people that don't look like us, that are not familiar with this Pulitzer Prize winner artist, 5-time Grammy, they were forced to get to know who he was.
Yeah.
They were forced to try and understand some of the Easter eggs that were put into this performance.
Yeah.
And for me, if that's what it took to help educate those who are not familiar with our culture,
that's what it took.
Then that's what it took.
Yeah.
And I was happy to see that part, whether you agreed with it or not, because not everybody is going to agree with it. It forced you to go look it up. It forced you to get to know him. And I'm sure they were shocked that he had so many Grammys, Pulitzer Prize winner. Like, who can say that?
But you know what though? So I'll say this though. I will say I don't think the shock was as big as we may think it is, because he don't win 5 Grammys with just the black folks. That was the hottest song in the world for weeks.
And I think he just hit the 1 million live streams. I think he also hit that record too.
Yeah, that's the world, Craig. So I don't think the shock was maybe as big as we may think it is, because that's a lot. 5 Grammys. I mean, here's another thing that people have to think about now. If I'm thinking about this the same way, I can guarantee you that Beyonce didn't win that country Grammy with just us either. I can guarantee you that, because we listen to country, but it ain't enough of us that listen to country like that. I do know. I have an aunt, for instance, gave her a stream of maybe 2 or 3 because she was like, you know what, it's a black woman with a country album. I'm just gonna play it just because it's her. Now, that may be a thing that was going on that happened, but you know what? Hey, it worked. So I think that this was great for music for me. I haven't felt this way about music in a long time. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's time. Well, I won't say it's time for another one, but I think we're ready to move on.
That goes into my next question. How do you think this is going to affect next year's performance, and will they put us back on the halftime show again?
So I will say this. Since Jay's been on that board, we've had a string of the blackest Super Bowl halftime shows in the history of halftime shows. I mean, we had Outkast in Atlanta, and the halftime show. Come on. So I think it will be. I mean, you got to think. Jay owned a whole streaming service, so he understands the music business in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever he sees back there behind the music on the charts, how things are moving, he's got a great ear. So whatever he sees on those charts and whatever he hears out there, the heartbeat of what people are actually liking, I think that'll be whatever we see in the Super Bowl. I'm not a weekend guy, but apparently that Super Bowl that he put the weekend was like one of the most amazing, most tuned in to Super Bowls ever. So, I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm not a weekend person either. It's a little too dark for me.
But
I hope this does continue to open up even more doors for Black artists, and not only like at the Super Bowl level, but I think it opens the doors for many other things outside of just music. So we'll see. We'll see what next year has to offer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Moving on to Free's favorite girl.
It is sexy. It is sexy.
She has has told us what probably the most romantic thing that occurred in her life thus far. Y'all, ooh, I cringed the moment that I heard this. I got so much to say about this. Let's see what she said about what romance was for her. I mean, we just came off of Valentine's Day, so let's see what she has to say.
I think somebody did for me. It was my first boyfriend. I was just in high school. He was a little older than me, and it was Valentine's Day. I'll never forget. He robbed somebody and gave me the money and gave me the bill he stole, and it was just so sweet because he was out of breath and stuff. He was like, "Here, I just got this for you." I was like, "Oh, so sweet. Thank you," because nobody never did nothing like that for me. He stole for me, so I'm like, "Oh, you did that for me, really?" And it was only $13. But it was nice. And it was a fake Gucci belt. But I was it was sweet.
Raphael, they like it.
Yo, what's your initial thoughts, your initial reaction watching this? I'm just saying, y'all, the sexy red can come after me. It was foolishness.
Who wanted to interview her about romance?
Probably to see what she had to say.
She was just busting it open on camera like over the last year or something. Did she go viral or something like that? Like, come on, man. Romance. That's why you saw what you heard, what you got.
Was she capping? Was it just for the camera? You really think this was
doubt it.
real for her?
I doubt it. Yeah. I'm from there. Yeah. I think so I don't think people will really understand how rough a place St. Louis is. One thing I will say that I understand, I respect. There's hoods everywhere. There's ghettos everywhere. They may look different. The people may be different, but they deserve all the same respect that your hood has when you're in your hood or wherever you're from. So, I mean, that's the reality of where they are. What do you know that's in St. Louis? Yeah. So, sexy red. I mean, and that's what we know about St. Louis right now. So
right now,
art, I mean, we know that, but I mean, what you say St. Louis, you don't say anything else. Like, there's nothing else there. So when there's nothing around, and then there's people, then there's crime. So yeah, if that's where she's from, a bad neighborhood, I can believe that. And she, the way she told the story so smooth is that sounds like a high school story. Hey, sounds
Ladies,
like those
that is not romance. The romantic,
Let's,
that's not
let's
romantic.
Tubi movie romance.
That's not romantic.
Let's Tubi movie romance. Come on now. Everybody who don't love a good Tubi movie.
And that's what it sounds like. Oh, straight up movie.
Valentine's
Not
Day.
real life.
They need to
Because
make
that's
that
not
movie.
romance.
Valentine's Day.
Not at all. For real. Say a girl went and robbed somebody for you, got you $13 in a Fucci belt.
I mean,
How would you feel?
you know what they say? It's the thought that counts, right?
Oh,
So look at the effort that took. That was way they thought it first, so that was enough. And then they went and did it. Oh man, what special?
but I think this gives women the false narrative that, oh, he's willing to risk everything for me. But that's not romance. Like what happens to provision? What happens to protection?
He
Like
didn't have no money.
that's false.
He
That's
didn't have any money, so
false.
he went and took some and gave it to her. He provided.
So you willing to lose your life and not be able to provide and protect me all for $13 in a Gucci belt? So you
I
can
didn't know it was
impress me?
$13 when I was going to go get it, and I didn't know the belt was fake. I was just going to go get it. Nah, no, I hood romance. I mean, like who? What do they say? They like the bad boys. What the bad boys do? I mean, do something bad. Well, that's pretty bad there, ain't it? So, okay, he raw. Ain't nobody never done nothing like that for me. He raw for me. You know where it took me? All I heard in my head was A-Ball and MJG. Would you steal for me?
I forgot about
Would you steal for
that.
me? Yeah, if my life in danger too. That's straight where my mind
Straight
went. I
up.
was like, okay,
You're
so
right.
we've been listening to some good music.
8Ball and MJG. Shout out to y'all. Wow. I just don't want these women out here thinking that that's what your man needs to do to show you that he love you. Like working at McDonald's ain't
It's too
enough
late
no
being
more. He
out
got to
there. I'm
rob for
sure
you.
it's too late. I'm sure that they ran with that, just like they run with anything else. Oh, you better bring me at least 20. You got to rob him at gunpoint too. Like, oh yeah, they don't. It'll be a trend.
And I understand, that's her brand is ratchetness, unfiltered. And I hate that the culture is pushing this. I shouldn't say the culture, but I those in charge are pushing this in our face. And that this is the narrative
that you want to
for
continue to spin. I had a professor in college. Every time somebody would yell out something that was stupid or crazy, she would say, "And you are perpetuating the welfare syndrome." And you, Miss Six and Red, are perpetuating the welfare syndrome.
Agree. And she's gained so much, I shouldn't say popularity, but she's been pushed into our faces with her makeup and her songs. And
lip
A
gloss.
lot of these, again, a lot of these young adults are thinking that this is acceptable, that it's cool.
That's what's sad. The young adults.
Yet, what happens after the fact? Like when she's 40, 50, what's she gonna be doing? Who's she gonna be
Same
with?
thing. She's gonna be sexy gray. Let me show you how to be a granny.
Ooh, these babies. I need y'all not to think that's not romance, boo. It's just it's not. It's not. Because when he locked up, what he gonna do for you?
Nothing. Can't do nothing. Won't do nothing if it could.
So trying to end on a high note, what is one of the craziest or over the top things that you can think of that someone's done for you?
For me.
For you. Or maybe you have done.
Crazy over the top. Crazy over the top.
And were you in?
You know what?
It was just
this Valentine's Day.
Aww.
So remember, I was in Dubai.
Yeah.
I said you'll be able to tell your friends this, and they won't ever be able to relate. Babe, you're so nice. You get to celebrate Valentine's Day twice. We woke up, had breakfast on Valentine's Day in Dubai, took off, landed in Houston, had dinner on Valentine's Day in Houston.
That's nice.
That was pretty over the top.
That's nice. That's nice. Kudos to her. Y'all in the chat, let me know what is one of the craziest or most over the top things that someone has done for you, and how do you define romance? All right, Free. I think we're gonna have to see everybody next week. It was a great time once again.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to meet up with y'all next week. I'm sure it's gonna be some more stuff for us to talk about. It always is. I will see y'all next week. Same time, same channel. See y'all. Bye.
Peace.